Okay, I think we're live. Maybe. Hopefully. It's a bit quiet. Hold on, let's put on some music. Are we live in the right place? Yes, we are. It just took a couple of seconds to update. Okay, good. Good. So I need that. Oh god, that looks very loud. Just give me a second. Oh, the sound is not coming through my speakers. It's a good sign. Ah, that's deafeningly loud. Okay. At least in my ears it was. How often do you do streams like this? So this is the second one. We did one last week. It was really fun and went really well, so I'm doing one again now. So far, I plan for it to be every Thursday. We'll see how it goes. You know, if it starts getting, like, stale or something, we can change that. But for now, I plan to do them weekly, every Thursday. Probably just for, like, an hour or so. And, yeah, just go live and talk Fire Emblem for a bit. Also, hey, Memehead. Hey, Lux. Hope you're both doing well. Is the volume levels okay? Yes. So, thank you. We are here. That's good. This would be a very awkward stream without a chat. It would just be a podcast, really, wouldn't it? Which, I guess wouldn't be that bad, but it would definitely be more awkward without a chat. So, does anyone have anything they want to kick us off with? TT Safek. Oh god. It's a hell of an abbreviation. Probably longer to say than just saying the actual thing. Did I tell Discord? Yes, I did. Didn't press enter after you did that. No. Not me. Couldn't be me. Also, we have an actual overlay this time, not just a grey screen with some text on it. I actually made a thing. What units do you recommend recruiting for Blue Lions? It kind of depends who you plan on using in-house. Number one is definitely a Warper. Happy is obviously very easily available. Lysithia is probably better overall. So it's up to you which one you want to go for. I think getting Happy is fine. Just recruit her on Chapter 3, and then that's probably, like, the most important one. Past that, Cyril and Shamir are always really good options. They're just incredibly good units from the moment you get them. Cyril especially is ridiculous. Hey, Padatha. The one thing Blue Lions, like, kind of really have going for them is, like, a lot of their base units aren't too bothered about being flying. So, true, Rui, true. Happy has the lowest availability, the only Warper that costs $20 to recruit. True. But, yeah, one of the really good things about Blue Lions is a lot of their base units don't care about flying, right? Like, Dimitri, Dudu, Felix, Ash, Mercedes, potentially Annette, like, can all quite happily be grounded units. Even Sylvain, I like putting him on a Wyvern, but you can make him a Paladin and he's fine. Like, quite a few units that probably aren't going flying, so you're kind of free to recruit whoever you want. You don't have to particularly plan around, like, flying battalions and things like that, because you can be as flexible as you need to be. Cyril needs some simple setup. He does. It's basically just get point-blank volley, but yeah. AIM in general doesn't reward flying. I think it still rewards flying, but it's definitely less punishing to Cavs, for sure. The Death Knight, I believe that might have been Quinn. A while ago. That was when we were playing Three Houses. Oh, the Gautier Knights. Yeah. Sylvain as a paladin's fine. Obviously, Lance fares really nice with Swift Strikes. You can also go Wyvern. They're both good. I really like Flying Dedue. I'm on board with that. I'm a big fan of Wyvern Rider Dedue. Although Paladin Dedue is also really good. Paladin Sylvain is great on Najimine. Every time this song comes on, I just think of it as the amiibo song in this playlist. But yeah, I think, like, you can be pretty flexible with who you recruit on Blue Lions, but the one thing I would recommend getting is probably a Warp unit. In general, their base, like, spellcasters don't have very good spell lists. So replacing them with better spell lists is normally a solid idea. Especially when, like, Annette might not even have her spell list. Like, the most common things to do with Annette are either to stay Cavalier or go Wyvern, I feel. You can do other things. You can go Dark Knight, you can go Valkyrie, things like that. But, like, I tend to do one of those. Is Warp the best spell in the game? Yeah, by far. I don't think anything comes close. You could maybe argue Rescue, but I don't think so. I think Rescue is the second best spell in the game, and there's a considerable gap. It's quite large. I think Warp might just be, like, the best tool in the game, though. I've said this a couple of times. I think I said it on the tier list. I think Warp is just, like, the best thing in the game. Outside of maybe, like, Raging Storm and possibly Dance. The most powerful spell is Fortify. It has 30 might. You know spells aren't special when Annette prefers Axe in cavalry classes than the magic units. I mean, Annette's spell list is particular. It's just chip. And you can chip with anything. Like, that's Annette's big problem. Like, her spell list is just chip. What kind of class would you add to the game if you could do so? Okay, so I'll answer this question twice. Please, for the love of God, bring back the Griffin Riders. Let my male units fly before Wyverns. Please, give me back Griffin Riders. I will do anything. Also, Malignites. Malignites are really cool. In fact, Mage Knights in general. I guess you have Valkyries now, right? So you kind of have Mage Knights, but bring back a lot of the old classes that ran away. Pirates, Berserkers, all of that stuff. Sword classes are kind of close to being good in Three Houses, I'm not gonna lie. Like, they're not unusable. The majority of the cast have Annette tier spells. The majority of the cast do not have good spells, that's true. What class would you be in if you were a Fire Emblem unit? If you've played Fire Emblem 8, the zombies, like the walking corpses, I'd be one of those. I'd just be dead. I would be a very dead unit. If I had to add, like, a new class to the game... Okay, this is still technically an old class. I kind of want something similar to Ballistician, but not... Like, not necessarily with ballistas, right? I want, like, more, like, strategic utility units. I'd like to see more things along that sort of vein. Rather than necessarily more combat classes, because a lot of the combat classes feel kind of the same. I've seen a lot of people saying you can Wyvern spam on Crimson Flower and not other routes. So the flying battalions that are available to the Black Eagles are notably better than the others. I think you get one extra flying battalion that's actually good. So I think you can do more. Ballistician made ballistas from what I remember. I haven't played FE1 or FE11 in a long time, and I never really used them in FE1. We need to rework debuffers? Yes. Favorite final boss theme or battle in the series? Ooh. Theme, I'm not sure. If it was final map theme instead, it's Apex. Apex of the World is great. Hey, John. Favorite final boss battle? Oh. See, because Ashnod is really good until it goes through that really dumb part 2. Even Ashnod actually... even the first part of Ashnod isn't great. I don't know. Ashnod is definitely fun. Like, Ashnod is climactic, but... it's definitely not Nurgle. It could be, I can't remember its name, but the big demonic form of Leon. I think there are more bad final bosses in FE than good ones. Probably true. But yeah, like, there's... The problem is... Oh, actually, good final boss battle. I'll throw this one out there as a potential curveball, but Nemesis is really fun. Like, I love the Nemesis fight. I think just in general... Again, if we can count, like, the whole map... Nemesis is a really, really fun fight. Which is weirdly out of place, because I think the other 3 final bosses in this game are not great. I also enjoyed, Acheron? Is that his name? No, not Acheron. What's his name? What's the simp from the DLC? Acheron's the Lester dude, right? What's his name? Aelfric, that's it. Aelfric. Yeah. He was an okay final fight. But yeah, I think Nemesis is probably up there. Ashnod is okay. Silver Snow Rhea looks cool at least. Silver Snow Rhea would be fine if it wasn't for Miracle proccing like 8 times during that fight or whatever it is. Because you have to proc it on all her white beasts and then on her. And it's so long. I enjoyed the DLC too. I couldn't remember his name, Repairs. Even if you play Land of the Golden Deer normally, Acheron is the easiest enemy on that level. Like, it can genuinely be quite a challenging chapter to play, like, without skipping. But the boss is a pushover, like... A lot of the regular enemies, yeah, it's... The first 3 to 4 turns of the SS final map are a nightmare until you clear some breathing space. Three Houses gets weirdly claustrophobic on some of its maps. Like, it does this weird, like, clumps of enemy things, where, like, enemies are in groups of 3 or 4, and if you accidentally aggro more than one of them at a time, you get so overwhelmed. It's the big thing with, like, Chapter 5, right? Like, if you aggro the ones on the top, it'll pull everything, and you're attacking the entire level. CF final map is pain-wise, Three Houses horse-phobic, true. I enjoy the CF, like, final map, like, theming, and I enjoy the fact there's, like, a nice spread of bosses on there, like, Cyril, Catherine, Annette, Gilbert, Rhea, obviously, or the Immaculate one. But I think, the actual, like, Rhea fight itself is, it's just a big monster. It's just not very interesting. Ash, oh yeah. How could I ever forget Ash? Imagine forgetting Ash is on that map. I'll be real, the reason I forgot Ash, I'm making it out as if it's because Ash is bad. The reason I forgot Ash is because I always recruit him on CF, because you can't recruit Catherine, so it's the only way to get boots. So that's why I forgot Ash. I'm always recruiting him on Crimson Flower to get boots. There's Ash everywhere on that map. Oh god, my guy. See if Ash has the best combat dialogue in the route. I don't remember it. Oh, the ambush spawns. Okay. What are people's opinions on ambush spawns? Because okay, they're annoying, but I've been playing FE6 recently, and obviously I played a lot of Three Houses. I don't think they're as bad as when the ambush spawns are inconsistent. FE9's ambush spawns annoy me a lot more than FE6's or FE16's. Because FE9 has some ambushes that are normal spawns, and some that are... Or some reinforcements that are normal spawns, and some that are ambush spawns. That catches me off guard so much more. Like, I don't know why. It's because, like, I do. It's because I don't expect them, right? Like, whereas in Three Houses and FE6, I'm just expecting to be ambushed every turn. Three Houses are worse than FE6's. I'm not far enough in FE6 to give, like, a definitive opinion on that, but I will say Three Houses was probably designed around Divine Pulse. I mean, I went into that Costa Battle knowing that Rutger was a really good unit, right? So, like, although it's my first playthrough and I am mostly blind, that is one little nugget of information I did have. FE6's ambush spawns, to be fair to them, seem to be a lot further away. I've rarely... It happened on the last chapter, not the most recent chapter we did, but the one before that, but I've rarely been, like, ambush spawned and attacked on the same turn in FE6 so far. Three Houses is one of the hardest Fire Emblems. It depends. I think if you're going in blind, Three Houses is incredibly difficult. And I think it's played down a lot. Because the game basically tells you nothing, right? Like, you can't even know what the correct decisions are to make because you don't know what you get from making your decisions. Like, how can you know to say get vengeance on Dedue when you don't know Dedue gets vengeance? Like, you can't even look at that ability and say, oh, that seems really good, I'm going to push for that. So, like, going in blind to Three Houses is incredibly difficult, I think. But yeah, like Herc just said, once you get used to maddening mode, I don't think it's too bad. Costa Battle is basically, like, hit the nail on the head. It's easy if you spent a week reading the wiki first. Gumi, the pick your units run is in a really awkward spot right now, and I don't know if it's going to be continuing. I don't want to go into details, but it's just in an awkward spot, and I don't know what's going on with it at the minute. Deathblow and hit plus 20 on everyone makes maddening not hell. Exactly, that's kind of the thing. Oh! We've dropped frames. Frame drops? Are we still here? Are we back? Are we okay? It looks to have stopped. Sounds good now? Okay, sorry about that. Oh, the buffering symbol is so good. I appreciate the people saying my channel's made maddening easier for you, by the way. That's very appreciated. Was anything missed when the audio was being weird? Do I need to repeat anything? Yeah, like, I feel like the thing that makes Three Houses hard isn't the difficulty, it's the fact it just doesn't... Yeah, that's basically what I did. I just looked at the drop frames. But I don't know, like, if it's bad, quote-unquote, right? Like, I don't know if it's, like, how much it's affecting the stream, I guess. Yeah, I did, Gumi. I can repeat that if it didn't go through. But yeah, I think that, like... I think, like, the thing that makes Three Houses really hard is you don't have... Like, you're literally going off of, essentially, guesswork. Not even guesswork. It's not even an educated guess. It's just praying that the stuff you invest into gives you good things if you go in blind. It's kind of... It's just kind of like... It's hard to even call it difficult for me. It's just kind of weird. I don't know. If people don't like Three Houses Blind, I would completely get that, because I think it's quite an obtuse game. See, the thing is, like, Divine Pulse is the reason it's hard. If it would make sense if I thought the maps themselves were hard. But outside of, like, HBD, Chapter 5, Chapter 14, and, like, maybe the back end of Azure Moon, I don't actually think the maps themselves are that difficult. And a couple of the paralogs. Black Market Scheme, Anna's one that I forget the name of right now. A couple of those, particularly the DLC ones, are quite rough. Even outside of that, like Sword and Shield of Serra, Soil and Water, like those aren't necessarily easy maps. Why'd they do that? I couldn't tell you. A lot of the hard maps aren't that hard if you just play slow. Pretty true. Some of the paralogs are hell, yeah, for sure. Especially if you don't, like... If you don't know about, like... If you don't recognize that you can just kill the boss and skip the map. Right, like, at that point, like, even something like Land of the Golden Deer becomes quite difficult. The Coco Yuri one. Yeah. I agree with Rorik there. The game is definitely designed around Divine Pulse letting you circumvent bullshit on Maddening. I also like not warp skipping those maps, Gumi. But, like, they're a lot easier if you do warp skip them. Oh, the Felix paralog on Maddening as well is super rough. Jesus Christ, Roderick just keeps killing himself. That one's... That's possibly one of my least favourite maps in the game. Yeah, the Sothis paralog without... I mean, I struggled with that recently, right? Like, the Sothis paralog without skipping? Jesus. Definitely has its rough moments, for sure. You love the Sothis paralog? That's fair. Favorite map? I really enjoyed Chapter 7. I think it's a really fun level to play. I think quite a lot of Three Houses maps are actually, like, not that bad if you actually just play through them. Like, normally. They're badly designed, but... they're... it's more like the game mechanics don't really fit the maps, I guess. But, like... I enjoyed Chapter 7. The Crimson Flower version of the Cornelia map is fun. HBD is one of your favourite maps. I think you might be alone in that opinion. Doesn't he move after he gets attacked, or am I misremembering? Because I'm pretty sure he gets attacked on turn 1 and then starts running around trying to, like, stab things with Silver Lancers when he can use magic, or something like that. Or maybe it's... On not maddening mode, HBD is fun. Maybe. Rodrigue or Geralt? Rodrigue. I've never had a problem with Suicidal Geralt. Yeah, Fraudario soldiers are good. For sure. A lot of the green units in Three Houses are either, like, really good or really underwhelming. There is very little middle ground. I agree with you on the narrative side of it, Herc. It's not that hard if you plan. I mean, that's one thing, but the fact is you have no idea it's actually coming up on a first playthrough. Like, I think that's what makes it so, like, in my opinion, like, poorly designed. Like, you have to plan ahead for it the chapter before you're there. And this isn't planning ahead by, like, buying some chest keys or something to get some items. This is planning ahead by, like, training certain units or, like, going into certain classes or, you know, equipping certain skills like Swordbreaker on Dimitri, for example. I think it depends on how you're set up. I think Silver Snows isn't too bad because, like, Setath is at a baseline, right? But, like, I think Golden Deers can definitely be rough if you've not, like, if you've not even got, like, a well-built Claude, right? Like, it can be kind of uncomfortable, I guess. Isn't Verdant Wind Chapter 20 the one with the Death Knight? And... no, it's the one with Edelgard, right? Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, Azure Moon Chapter 20. Sorry. He's footlocked and he loses his battalion. It really sucks. I also think it would have been cool if Silver Snow Hunting by Daybreak was the faculty, like the church people, rather than the Black Eagles. I don't know why. I just always thought that would have been interesting. Although then it's even less likely you would have them all trained up, so it'd probably be bad, but I think it would have been cool thematically. No, Lux. The overall, like, macro focus is definitely more in play in Three Houses. There's still elements of it in the old, like, your units still have levels and stuff, but I'd say it's a lot less of a focus. The chapter that teases us with a female War Master. True. See, I see what you're saying, Herc, but, like, all of the units you would have picked would have been units reuniting with Byleth and the House Leader, right? So I think being able to choose the units that came in, I don't think that would have really detracted from the narrative. I think it still could have been, like, very good. In that way, like, narratively, if they let you choose your units. And, like, reclass Dimitri. And give him a battalion that is damaged. I think you could have, like, still had a prep screen and had it make sense from a narrative standpoint. Although, I guess, like, yeah, choosing the units, I don't know. I mean, even if it was just the units that were deployed on Chapter 12, like, even if that's how it was decided, because I understand what you're saying, like, if you're choosing them, it wouldn't have been as excited. But, like, even if the units that deployed on that map were the units you chose in Chapter 12, I would be okay with that. Like, I think that would be better, rather than giving people, like, level 3 units on Chapter 13, which is a little rough. The real solution is don't do HBD's concept. I like the concept of HBD, to be fair, Rengor. Like, I think the units coming back to reunite with Byleth and the House Leader was really cool the first time I did it. But the map itself is not fun to play. Yeah, I think it definitely could have been done right. But yeah, it wasn't it. Works way better if the units get auto-leveled like on normal. Yeah, it also works way better in Chapter Chapter 4, in FE4's prologue, which kind of has a similar thing. Force deploy, force position maps never work in FE. I don't agree with that. I mean, a lot of the earlier maps are normally force deployed, force position, and they're normally pretty good. But yeah, like, I think FE4's prologue of, like, everyone reuniting is the better way to do that map. FE6 Chapter 4 wants to know your location. But I think like some of the force deploy, force position maps are definitely fun to play. I don't like Happy Birthday because it reminds me of I'm a Jagan IRL. Good lord. That's true. Seeing the time skip transformations in HBD is really cool too. One day closer to the eternal bench. Good lord. The eternal bench. I think you could, like, I don't know. You could still reveal the time skips in a cool way without that map. It's... I don't think it helps that the actual map itself is, like, complete garbage, too. It's not like it's a particularly... Like, even if it was a normal map, I don't think it would be good. If every birthday is a level up, I think I must have terrible growths. Okay, yeah, that's fair. I haven't played Echoes yet, so I'm not quite sure what that is. Also, it is really warm. Jesus Christ. We're in another heat wave. Kind of blows. The biggest trap people fall into about Three Houses, oh god. Armor Lord Edelgard? I don't... that's a pretty big trap right there. The lack of variety in map objectives is a really big problem with Three Houses in general. Hey, Ace. Yeah. All the European people feeling this heatwave right now. There's a lot of, like, big traps people could fall into with Three Houses. It'd be hard to narrow down one, but I think, like, Armor Edelgard probably has to be it, right? That takes a unit from being incredible to being so blur. What are the most important paralogs to do pre-time skip? The Sothis one has to be number one. Knowledge Gem is huge, and 3 extra Divine Pulses is really nice too. I think Oil and Water is pretty big. You get the Rapier, you get the Index Sword Fighters, you get the McQueel Evil Repelling Co, I believe. Is it 1 extra Divine Pulse for... Oh, I thought it was 3 for the Sothis Paralog. I forgot. Why is Edelgard an Omnite with more speed than... Hey, Mage General 69, thank you for the sub. Great name. It's 3 on normal or hard. Ah, okay. I've been revealed. I'm a scrub. Not that if you're a scrub if you play on normal or hard. I'm joking. Yeah, Lauren's Paralog for Thyrsus. It's another big one. Reveal Chi Rengo. What did I do to you? Just because you created fe3h.com and made that one post about maddening. Sylvains does give a lot of stuff. Oh, the do's. The do's is the most important paralog to do pre-time skip. Like, number one, the single most important paralog to do pre-time skip is the do's. Don't miss that one, whatever you do. You will be a very, very sad person. Constance and Yari's is pretty big too. The Dead. Shoes of the Wind from Ash and Catherine. Yeah, Shoes of the Wind are great. A lot of the paralogs give good stuff, right? But, like, in terms of the most important, I would say, like, probably Sophus, the Do, obviously. I'd probably say Oil and Water after that, honestly. I think, like, you get some really good stuff from Oil and Water. A lot of Part 1 paralogs give good stuff, true. But the Part 2 paralogs are fun. I really like Edelgard's Part 2 paralog. I really enjoy that map. I also often, like, think that that's an actual map in Crimson Flower. Anna's paralog is not all that worth it if you're doing an Iron Man. It's really easy to cheese if you don't mind cheesing it. You can just hide in the bottom left. Bottom left from my camera perspective. I don't know what it actually is from base. Is Jono a Dedue stan? I like Dedue. He's really good. With Lauren's relic that is only to be used by Lauren's. Yeah, for sure. Check Discord PMs. Okay, let's have a look. Oh my lord. Wow, Ringo, that's a strange looking Nintendo Switch you've got there. Hey, Marco. Nintendo PC is a pathway to many abilities. Lawrence is not a character, you mean Thyrsus. True. Where my fellow Alois stands at. I love Alois as a character. I really like the characters that are just regular people. I think they do a lot for the game in terms of, like, it feels a lot more like a real place. I don't know. I really like the characters like Alois and, like, Raphael, Manuela. Just the actual humans. Not these people who want to, like, trade their lives away for their king, or devote their life to Lady Rhea. I want to be like the Blade Breaker. Okay, shut up. Like, that's... As a unit, he's super mid. Yeah. He just comes a bit late, really. He's, like, fine, right? Like, he's easy to use. He punches things. He gets Bat Wrath, if you want to do that. They're the twice defeated. I enjoyed Alois until he had me marry his daughter. I do too. I wish more units joined in Part 2. Like, I wish we got Nader, Judith, Rodrigue, Rhea in some cases, like... Love Alois, but why is he S support bait? Throw him as S support baits than Gilbert, to be fair, true. The fact that recruitment is so heavily front-loaded instead of distributed. I think, like, especially in Three Houses, they put so much into, like, building up your units, and I really like that aspect of it, but I wouldn't want it in every Fire Emblem game. Like, I played FE4 after Three Houses, and the craziest thing to me, spoilers if you haven't played FE4, is that that game will actively just take your units off of you. Like, you just lose units for the rest of the game. Like, it just yoinks them away. And I'm not talking about necessarily the big one. I'm talking about, like, the smaller ones before that. Where, like, oh, this unit you were using who was really good for you? Yeah, you don't have them anymore. They're gone. They're not there. Like... I guess, like, Sacred Stones kind of did that with Orson, but that doesn't count. I think in Three Houses they wanted late recruits but didn't have time to finish them. Maybe, that is possible. The big one. Yes, I mean the fish. No. The Radiant Dawn doesn't do it in a fun way. Radiant Dawn just arbitrarily decides, okay, you don't have Jill for this chapter. You don't have Fiona for this chapter. Nobody wants Fiona for a chapter, but you don't have her. Toranio, yeah, he will carry you through that one map and then just never show up again. Okay. The Radiant Dawn annoyed me when it did it. I haven't actually played Part 3 yet, so... Imagining Church only and Knights of Seros only run? Potentially. It seems interesting. I'm not sure, like, how fun it would be. There might be something to it. I'm not sure. I think, like, until Chapter 5, it's probably going to be really rough. And then after Chapter 5, it's probably, like, fine, right? Or, like, Chapter 5 onwards, it's probably fine. I was going to say, the best church unit route is either Azure Moon or Golden Deer, right? Or Verdant Wind. Do they need to bring back the second generation units feature for a fourth game, or has it finally run its course? I'm hit or miss on it. But I haven't played Awakening, so... Yeah, Cyril's still good on SS for sure. Catherine kind of sucks butts though. Like with Vengeance and Wyvern Rider, he just flies around killing things. Maybe I'm missing something, but what makes... Oh, Azure Moon, I guess you get Gilbert, right? I was going to say what makes Azure Moon better than Golden Deer. I guess in Azure Moon you get Gilbert, yeah. Why do I always say Golden Deer instead of Verdant Wind? I don't know. Verdant isn't even yellow. It's a really weird point to pick up on, but it's bothered me for, like, years. Why is it Verdant Wind? Verdant is green. Elmira's military's green uniforms, but they're the golden deer. They should still be yellow. It's because of Claude. Damn it, Claude. Verdant Wind, it's the route that's based around Flame and Seteth. And Linhot. Green deer. Yeah, I guess so, Rui. It's basically Elmira Wind. Golden Wind. The Japanese title of the game is that idiom about the 4 seasons. Oh, okay. If you were a Garreg Mark student, what house would you want to be in? The Ashen Wolves, because they don't have to go on missions at the end of every month and probably die. Like, being complete... If I was a Garreg Mark student and I had to go on missions to fight bandits, I would be dead in a week. Like, I'm saying Ashen Wolves and I'm living in a hole. It sounds good to me. They don't have to do homework either. True, true. Wow, Gumi. I do not live in a hole. Oh my god, Rancor. Hello everyone and welcome to my stream from the sewer. Please support my Patreon to get something to eat. Constance is fun to be around in Yuri as a bro. Happy's super cool too. I also haven't done homework in years, but I haven't been at school in 4 years. Like, any capacity of school. I am adult. I finished university 4 years ago. I love Happy too. Happy's absolutely one of my favorites. Comp side, Gumi. They'd see my stats. Am I Meg, Rengor? Like... I'm the equivalent of Amelia holding a speed wing? Is that what I've been reduced to? I'm not sure, really. That's really odd. Oh my god, Lux. Yeah, you can steal one from her on chapter 9, and then you can get the other one on chapter 13, 14? I forget what map it is. The Pablo map. Is which stat boost you would bring. Who knows? Magic? Oh, really? There's no Three Houses student that gives magic? Okay, didn't know that. Computer science is basically magic. I'm the Agarthians. That's the truth. When I said I'm living in a hole, it's actually Shambhala. It's not Abyss. Does a religious studies degree teach you warp? Oh my god, Kranya. That's a good point, Solomon. At least you get good music. Yeah, I'm sat there with the dubstep on every day. Religious studies teaches Nosferatu IRL. I wish this was a joke. My lord. What skill does your archaeology degree get you? You're good at digging. I had to take a second to think there, because whenever I hear archaeology, I always think of architecture, and then I had to, like, dial it back and, like, which one is that again? But no, I know what archaeology is. I have mastered catnap, it's true. Wait, repairs. You're repairs. You get a hammer and staff. That's what you do. You have a hammer and staff. You fix things. What FE games have I played? 1 4 part of 6, 7, 8, 9 part of 10, 11 part of Conquest, 3 houses. FE3 Hammer and Staff is genuinely best of Souls. Jesus. Archaeology is probably outlawed by Rhea. You're going to Abyss. Hey, welcome to Abyss. But wait, Abyss has the Abyss Keeper, and he's like the best character in the game, so that's kind of cool. I wouldn't be upset with that. Abyss Keeper's great. Abyss Keeper for Fire Emblem Heroes when, though. True. Nah, Abyss Keeper. It's all about Abyss Keeper. Do we get the Sauna boss, too? He's not technically Abyss, but he's very close. Mr. Backup, no! Oh, Abyss Keeper's plotline with Mr. Backup. Incredible stuff. Some of y'all are cool, though. Jesus Christ, Rancor. Good lord. Just whatever comes to mind regarding Fire Emblem, Shane. Also, hi. current topic seems to be Abyss Keeper. Also, we're probably only going to go for like 5 or 10 more minutes because A, I have food soon, and B, it is 8 billion degrees. It's so warm, and I don't have a fan on, or the windows open when I'm streaming. So, Abyss Keeper and Mr. Backup for the amazing duo unit. I don't actually know Gumi. The problem is, like, the actual temperature is, like, amplified in here because I have, like, all the electrics on. My computer's just sat there, like, kicking out heat. Thoughts on Annette as a character? I find Annette fine. I think a lot of her supports are kind of I really like her Felix supports. Which FE god is the best in your opinion? Oh my god, Rengor. Yes, Seth. Thank you, Tegan. Hope work's going well. Yeah, it's 31 outside here, according to Google. 22 in the UK? That's not what my Google's saying. Mine's Google saying it's 31. Crania, wherever you are, it sounds a lot nicer than where I am. Go eat repairs. Not like eat repair, don't eat repairs. Like, repairs get food. Ah, okay, you're in Northern Ireland. What content haven't you done yet that you would want to? So much, oh my god. The hardest, well, not like the hardest, but like the saddest thing is the amount of videos that don't get released. Like, that's definitely like the saddest part of this. My fan is blowing hot air, it makes no sense. Mood. A lot of them just come out like not really in like a releasable format. Like making up builds and putting out guides for people to recreate them. It's kind of similar to Breaking Down in a way. My god, Rancor. No, I've gone a step further. This is literally just me talking to chat. This is what my contents became now. I'm just talking to chat. But people seem to be enjoying it, and I'm having a good time. So I ain't gonna say no. At least this time I actually bothered to make like an actual screen, and not just a grey screen. Gotta pull the bare minimum over here, exactly. What do you mean, Rengor, anyway? You said to just do you, but I can't create fe3h.com. That's well beyond my skill set. Hey, I have my own super long videos on unit analysis, to be fair. Oh my god, don't make that a thing. We don't need John O'Cast. Rengor, what do you mean? You sent me a 2-hour video last night. What do you mean you wouldn't know anything about long videos? I'll play Free Hopes eventually, but I just have no motivation to do so at the minute. I don't have the time at the minute is the thing. I'm putting like... I was going to say 6 hours, but lately it's been a lot more, like 10 plus hours into this, and I work like 8 hours a day, which is, yeah, basically where all my time's going at the minute. Beric and Deering. No. I haven't played either of them. We will ascend. We're definitely not calling it that. The hardest I've played is Conquest Lunatic. I've heard things about FE12. Yeah, I've never played Tearing or Beric either. Yeah, Rengor says it's FE12. A lot of people I've seen say it's Conquest or Awakening. I'm really interested in playing FE12. It does sound fun. Starting genealogy, any tips? Click Sigurd, click towards the castles, win the game. Ignore Rengor. That would be my #1 tip. Ignore Rengor. Genealogy is great. I love that game so much. No, ignore Costabile too. I don't actually think FE4 is that slow, I'm not gonna lie. Might just be me though. The only like games I actually have like a major issue with the slowness of is FE9 and 10. I don't know, Sino. It's a really, like, polarizing game. People either seem to really love it or really, like, dislike it. I'm not quite sure why. What's the speed-up trick for FE9, Costabile? Also, Sino, you should play Genealogy. It's really good. Any Fire Emblem game to get a remake on the Switch, which would it be? FE9. I think FE9 is the Fire Emblem that's most in need of a remake. You're welcome, Shane. I don't know what I got thanked for. FE9 works fine enough. Yeah, but I just find it really unfun to actually play. Like, I think FE9 would benefit from a lot of the changes made in newer Fire Emblems without it completely, like, ruining the game. And the one thing it needs more is, like, just quality of life improvements. Being able to speed things up, skip turns, skip enemy phases. Showing the stats in battle, I don't know why that's not a thing. It was a thing before and it was a thing after, but for some reason in FE9 they don't show the, like, damage and hits in the battle animations. No idea how that happened, but bring that back, please. I don't think there's any FE9 that... I don't think there's any Fire Emblem that's, like, crying out for a remake, but I think FE9 would be the one that benefits the most from it. Because I think the thing it needs more than anything is things that were likely to be fixed in a remake, which is just quality of life improvements. FE9 and 10 together is a lot better of an idea than 4 and 5 together, or 6 and 7 together, from what I've heard. I'm not fully familiar with either, but I don't see how 4 and 5 together would work, and because they're not remotely similar games. And 6 and 7 together would just be really odd. Better graphics? Are you sure we're talking about FE11 there, Rui? Ringo, what have you just sent me on Discord? What am I looking at? What on earth? I've seen that take so much, like, FE4 and 5 should be remade together, and it doesn't make any sense to me, because, like, I've not played FE5, but the FE4 and FE5 are completely different games. You don't need to play FE5 to see that. Like, they're not remotely similar in terms of their gameplay. Well, I think we're going to wrap this up here. We've been going for just over an hour. I've got food soon, and it's really warm. So I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you all for stopping by. It's been fun. It's been fun for 2 weeks in a row, so that's good. It's a good sign. We'll be back next week with the same thing. I'm making this a weekly thing in case that wasn't obvious, but yeah, we're going to be doing this every week. I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you all hung out. Thank you. I had a good time. Makes me feel good. Oh, the only other thing to note is that the edited version of the class tier list will be going up either later today or tomorrow. If you've already seen it, don't get baited. It's just the edited version. I mean, you can watch it if you want. I won't complain. But yeah, that's the only other thing to really note. We'll probably be live with some FE6 tomorrow, maybe. But I'll let you know in the Discord either way. Link to the Discord is in the description below. And I'll catch you all next time. Have a good evening, and goodbye.